Good morning, students. Hope all of you are doing well. Let's start our political science subject with a quote of a political thinker, Plato. Plato once said that one of the penalties that you might pay for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Therefore, according to Plato, it becomes mandatory for a citizen to actively participate in the politics. But before participating, let us try to understand what is the political science. What do we mean by the political science? And what is actually basic understanding of the political science? So in this particular lecture, I will try to teach you about the word political science and what is the definition of the political science, what is the prevalent definitions of the political science, so that you might get a basic understanding of the subject political science. So first of all, let's start with the word political science. The first word is the political. From where this word political is derived? The word political is derived from a Greek word. Let's try to understand the word political. The word political is derived from a Greek word called polis. What polis actually means? Polis simply means the affairs of the city. Therefore, in political science, we deal with the affairs of the city. What kind of affairs? Therefore, first of all, we write what we mean by the polis or political affairs of the city. Affairs of the city. Now, what kind of affairs do we study in political science, and why we study these affairs in the political science? The first thing or the first logic behind studying the affairs in the political science is to manage the society properly, is to solve the problems which are prevalent in the society. That is why we study a lot of affairs in the political science. Now, for having a basic understanding, I will give you an example that what kind of affairs do we study in the political science. Like the affairs of the laws, that what kind of laws we have to formulate for running the society properly. We study these kind of laws in the political science. We study the rules to formulate, or how can we formulate the rules for running the society properly, for managing the society properly, or to maintain a proper order of the society. We study about the different constitutions around the world. First of all, we study that what is the constitution, why do we need a constitution, and how effectively a constitution can run a country. All these affairs are studied in political science. Another examples, we study about the different type of nations that exist in the world, like democratic nations. Democracy is also further divided into different parts, like the dictatorial nations, like the nations which have a monarchy still in present times. For example, Japan still have a monarchical form of government, but the monarch doesn't have any real powers. He's exercising the nominal powers. But we studied about all of these different types of governments and forms in the political science. We also study about the different form of the government which are prevalent in the society, and we all study these affairs just to manage properly our society, just to run properly our society, just to run smoothly our society, and just to solve the problems of our society. All of these are affairs studied for making the society better, for the betterment of the society, or improving the living standards of the people. These are the affairs that we studied under the umbrella of the political science. Now, if we look at the second word, the city. In ancient time, it was designated as a city because there were small cities which get developed in the Greece. But in present time, if we look at this world scenario in the globalization world, the world has widened. From cities, we have formulated nations. From nations, we have formulated to the international levels, all the international organizations. So now the political science is actually widened its scope as well in areas. From cities, we have moved towards the formation of the nations, and from nations, we have moved towards the formation of the international relations or international organizations. So therefore, all of these kinds of affairs are studied in political science at international level, at national level, at district level, even at the village level. And we study all of these affairs at city, village, nation, or international level just to manage the society, to run the society properly, for the smooth functioning of the society, and to solve the various problems which are prevalent in the society. For example, the problems of the discriminations in the society, the problems of poverty, the problems of unemployment. All of these problems are solved by various laws and affairs that we deal in the political science. So first of all, the meaning of the word political is clear. I think the word political is derived from a Greek word polis, which means affairs of the city. What kind of affairs? All of these kind of affairs are studied under the political science. Why? For managing the society properly, for running the society properly, for solving the problems which are prevalent in the societies. And again, if we look at the area of the political science, it has widened with the time. From nations to international level, we study all kind of affairs in the political science. So this is the meaning of the word political. Now, why we include the word science with the political? What is the meaning of the word science with the political? See, the word science does not designate any subject. It is actually a process. It does not mean the physics, chemistry, or biology. The word science simply means the process of gaining the knowledge. Now, let's try to understand the word science, and thereafter we will link both of the words, the political and the science. Now, if we look at the word science, what does the word science actually means? The word science does not designate any kind of subject. The word science is basically a process for gaining the knowledge. Now let's try to understand the word science. If we look at the word science actually designate a process. What kind of process it designate? The process of gaining the knowledge. The process of gaining the knowledge. Knowledge on a particular field. Whenever we attach the word science with any field, it simply means we are going through the process of gaining the knowledge. Therefore, whenever we attach the science with the political, it simply means through the process of the science, we are going to gain the knowledge of the political world. So it is a process of gaining the knowledge in a particular field, and here we are dealing with the political. Now, how can we gain knowledge from the process of the science? This process of the science actually include various factors for gaining the knowledge. For example, we can gain the knowledge by the observation of that particular field. We can gain the knowledge by doing experiments in that particular field. We can gain the knowledge by experiments. We can get the knowledge by observation. We can get the knowledge by investigations in that particular field. We can get the knowledge by research in that particular field. When all of these factors are applied to a particular branch, then the knowledge which we get by the process, this process is known as science. So science is basically a process for gaining the knowledge of a particular field. And how can we gain the knowledge? By various factors, by the observations, by experiments, by investigations, as well as from the research. So when we apply this process on the political world, it can be termed as a political science. Therefore, by scientific way of understanding the political science or the political society. Therefore, we attach the word science with the political. Now, if we look at the definition, at the proper definition of the political science, we have already studied that political means the affairs of the city. Affairs of the city. Now, when we study these affairs in a scientific way, what is the scientific way? Observations, including experiments, including investigation, including research to come to a conclusion, then we call it as a political science. Therefore, the word politicals means the affairs of the city, and when we study the political problems or the affairs of the city in a scientific way, and what is the scientific way? The process of gaining the knowledge in a particular field by observation, experiment, investigation, and research, then we include it in a political science. Therefore, if we conclude a definition of both the words combinedly, then it simply means the branch of the social science which deals with the branch of the social science in which we study affairs of the city in a scientific way is known as political science. So what can be the definition of the political science? It is simple. The branch of the science, the branch of the social science in which we study about affairs of the city. What kind of affairs? I already dictated you that affairs of the city, and this area of city is also widened with the time. in a scientific way. How in a scientific way? By applying the observation, experiment, investigation, and research test on the affairs of the city. The branch of the social science in which we study about affairs of the city in a scientific way is known as political science. Is known as political science. So this is the basic definition of the political science. The word political means affairs of the city, and the word science means a process of gaining knowledge by observation and experiment. When these observations, these experiments, the investigation, research are applied to the affairs of the city, then it formulates a branch which is known as political science. So this is the basic understanding of the political science. There can be another definition as well. Another definition for the political science can be the study of, or we can say that the branch of the government, the branch of the science, or we can say that a branch of the social science in which we study about government and politics. This branch is known as political science. Another definition for the political science. So what was the first definition? The branch of the social science in which we study about the affairs of the city in a scientific way is known as political science. And the another one definition is the branch of the science in which we study about government and politics is known as political science. See, the political scientists use the scientific methods for the basic understanding of the political science, or they use the scientific methods to conclude or to make a conclusion regarding to any problem. For example, I can give you an example regarding to this. The political science also use the experiment like we use the experiments in physics or chemistry or biology. The political scientists use test, or the political scientist use the scientific way. How they use the scientific way? Let us try to understand. First of all, they will state a question. There is first of all, they will state a question regarding to any problem which is prevalent in the society. For example, what can be the question? Let us try to understand this. First of all, they will state a question. After stating the question, the political scientist will develop a theory regarding to that particular question. For example, the question can be, what is the democracy? Is democracy suitable for the society or the nation or not? That can be the question. Or the question can be, why the discrimination is prevalent in the society? That can also be the question. But there are many questions which we can include in political science. First step is that they will state a question, then they will develop a theory regarding to that particular question. After developing the theory, they will gather the data on that particular question. After gathering the data, they will form a hypothesis. After gathering the data, they will form a hypothesis. What do we mean by the hypothesis? Hypothesis simply means an educated guess. For example, if we look at the question of the democracy, first of all, what is democracy? What do we mean by democracy? What are the various dimensions of the democracy? The political scientists will develop a theory regarding to the democracy, and they will collect some data as well for the implementation of the democracy. After data, they will conclude a hypothesis, that is an educated guess that can we implement democracy in that particular area. After this hypothesis, there is the test which is conducted, that is implementation of the democracy in a particular area. And after the implementation, we will get the results, and these results will give a conclusion or will make a conclusion for us. What conclusion can be derived from it? That whether democracy is positive, whether democracy becomes negative, or it is the best form of the government, or it is the worst form of the government. So therefore, tests are included in political science. Therefore, hypotheses are included in political science. Therefore, theory is included in the political science. We state questions in the political science. All of these is a scientific approach to understand the subject of the political science. So this is the basic understanding of the word political science. Now, after understanding the word basic understanding of after having a basic understanding of the word political science and the definition of the political science, in our next class or in our next lecture, I will discuss about which books are included in the class 11th and what is the syllabus of these books, or what syllabus are included in these books. So thank you.